We're mere moments, maybe an hour or two from Donald Trump actually being fingerprinted and mugshotted and all of that. We're waiting for that to come out. Fingers crossed that it will. But as we move towards that, bearing in mind that this is a historic day, that these sorts of indictments never gone down on a president or a former president before, but we also live in the worst of times. So the guy at the center of all of this, Donald Trump, has greeted the morning in only the most ridiculous fashion. I'm not gonna read all of this, but here is how he has been spending his morning before he finally gets hauled in. Full caps, paragraph block messages about Bill Barr, Paul Ryan. He's really interested in what's going on with Bill Barr. Again, I'm not reading all of this. Those are literal just direct screenshots. It has just been a full cap storm. Dude, you're about to be hauled before a judge. Like, maybe focus on your own issues. He did finally get around to talking about the actual legal situation he's in. And he believes that he has found sort of an out, okay? A fighting fire with fire sort of legal strategy. So he bleated, wow, District Attorney Bragg just illegally leaked the various points and complete information on the pathetic indictment against me. I know the reporter, and so unfortunately does he. This means that he must be indicted. Now, if he wants to really clean up his reputation, he will do the honorable thing and, as district attorney, indict himself. He will go down in judicial history, and his Trump-hating wife will be, I am sure, very proud of him. God, his messages always move in like 6 directions simultaneously because he can't decide which point he wants to make. Does he like the wife? Does he like Bragg? He doesn't know. But anyway, some of the information about the indictments has actually been released. We don't know if Alvin Bragg leaked it or in the original version of that bleed on Truth Social, keeked it. But anyway, we did learn, thanks to Michael Isikoff of the Yahoo News, that Trump will be placed under arrest on Tuesday. We knew that, and informed that he has been charged with 34 felony counts for falsification of business records. So we knew that there would be at least one felony count and that it would be for falsifying business records. This is implying that all 34 will be for that. This is not a combination of felonies and misdemeanors. It's straight felonies all day, every day, top to bottom for that charge. And we're gonna give you a little bit more information about what that could potentially mean. But Dan, he appears to think that because somebody leaked this information like 90 minutes before it's official news, well, Alvin Bragg's gotta be hauled away to Rikers. What do you think?
Yeah, I love this. I mean, I love how it's kind of happening. I also appreciate how you stick to calling it bleeding instead of tweeting. Instead of calling it, honestly, instead of calling it Truth Social, I call it Mar-a-Blago. But what I enjoy, pretty good. What I enjoy about this entire thing, obviously, like getting to see Trump kind of squirm and scramble and not feel confident in himself for once. It's good, but you have to understand that even in that point where he's trying to call attention to the judge, the issue becomes that Donald Trump is trying to contextualize it, and the Republican Party is trying to contextualize and politicize this in such a way that we think that it's the kind of hearing they would do. It's like purely politically motivated if there aren't any laws being broken. I, as a leftist, am fine with the idea of politicians not being above the law. I prefer it. When other people were saying, hey, watch out, Democrats, we're gonna be coming for Bill Clinton next, I'm like, good. I don't believe anyone should be above the law. I think we should have, instead of like 3 different justice systems, one for people of color and marginalized groups, one for white collar people, and then one for politicians, I think we should have one justice system. The issue is when, again, Donald Trump is going to try to blend this and saying, oh, this is just like Benghazi, which is what Republicans did as like a fake story against them. Or this is just like the Biden affair with Hunter Biden. To politicize this and to say this isn't about Donald Trump actually committing crimes and breaking the law is, it's a line that Republicans are perfectly fine going down. Yeah,
100%, yeah. You basically summed up my damaged pre-port this morning, where Whoopi on The View was like, it makes me sad that we're coming to this, and I was thinking, don't make me sad, and not just because it's Trump. I mean, obviously that makes me joyous, but oh no, don't go after Bush and Obama, no. Yes,
we're so owned.
These are people.
So the libs have been so owned. Don't do that.
Exactly. Don't own me, bro. But anyway, so here's the thing. The leak comes out, 34 felony counts, falsifying business records. And so immediately people jump to, well, what could that potentially mean? Well, first of all, you should know the little wrinkle for this particular case. So the charge of falsification of business records can be prosecuted as just a misdemeanor. In this particular case, Bragg's office decided to bump up literally all of them to Class E felonies, the lowest level of felonies, on the grounds that the conduct was intended to conceal another underlying crime. Which I'm assuming here they're referring to that it's effectively like skirting campaign finance law. But they're not explicitly saying that. So is there some other crime that they're lumping in? But if so, why aren't there charges related directly to that? So I'm still a little bit confused, and there's very much some stuff that we're gonna need to learn from this. But here's the thing, if it's 34 counts and each one is a Class E felony, then if you get your Glenn Beck billboard out, what that means is that under the New York State Penal Code, a conviction for the Class E felony of falsifying business records can result in a prison term of up to 4 years, which has led some people to be like, oh my God, he's going to prison for 130 years. No, he's not. Calm down, everybody. I know the idea of him going to prison for 130 years is very appealing. First of all, I would not bet too much money on him having 130 days remaining. But anyway, they're definitely not doing that. And not only is leaping to 130 years or whatever, like beyond how they would actually adjudicate this, assuming they get him at all, I do not want people, as joyous as today is, and it is, I'm not trying to yuck your yum, okay? Donald Trump is yucky enough for all of us. But there is no guarantee that they're gonna get him on this. And I wanna remind people of that. It is this novel legal theory, so just bear that in mind as we move forward.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's that a lot of people are gonna watch this in the background and go, oh, hush money payments to an adult film star. Really, that's what we got here? And it's this is why I wish that, the justice system were a little bit less confusing and a little bit more like obvious to people, because unfortunately, I don't think, other than Donald Trump being able to fundraise off of the mugshot photo, potentially, I don't think that this has much of an impact on, if you thought Donald Trump was a criminal or you just a bare minimum didn't like him before, this isn't gonna change that. If you love Donald Trump and you're willing to embarrass yourself, more on that later, for a whiff of his attention that you're never going to get, then like this isn't gonna change your opinion either. It's just gonna, if anything, harden people where they already are. The real stuff that I think could actually turn people is if these elections, if these investigations start to get to what Donald Trump was doing down in Georgia with taking out the votes, because then it's like, okay, dude, it's the president. He's trying to like screw up the election. Like, what country are we? Then we get to ask those sort of existential questions that we know the Republicans don't care about. But I think this payment, at least in the court of public opinion, which is where Donald Trump loves to be adjudicated, it's not going to hit as much. And I worry that like as him and the Republican Party try to frame this as a politically motivated, as opposed to crimes that Donald Trump has actually committed, that line will get blurred, and that if we do get to the point where we do want to convict him for the Georgia stuff, it's gonna be like impeachment 2 or impeachment 3, where the effect of it's been watered down.
Yeah, that's potentially true. And that doesn't necessarily have to be the way it goes, but that is generally what the media produces. So that's why I'm trying to like I 100% agree with you. I think that, look, he definitely had the affair from my point of view. He definitely tried to cover it up. All these things are definites to me. And it is a crime, and he should suffer the consequences. I'm not, cool with like, absolving people of the crimes they committed. But that said, I care about what happened in Georgia only 1,000 times more. And so those charges could be coming. They could be coming in a day. They could be coming in a week. They could definitely be coming in 3 months. So let's all have fun today. But this is just a trial run for some of the more significant things to come. For now, though, I think, yes, so Trump is apparently on his way to the courthouse, everyone. And dear God, okay, we can't bring up CNN right now. We don't have that tech capacity. They've got a chopper that has like the line of the cars. We don't need to see that. You could show it, you could. But you did the plane thing yesterday, CNN. So you know what you're doing. CNN loves them vehicles. They just want vehicle news, whether it's a lost plane, a cruise ship that's run aground somewhere, a line of identical looking black SUVs.
But wait, John.
It doesn't actually tell us anything.
It's this, but it's also CNN really doing a return to form sort of bit with empty podium hour. Like they're like, actually,
kind of.
Just showing like Trump moving around gets more views than most of our daytime hosts anyways. Let's just run that a little bit.
Yeah, and look, they might say, well, it's historic. No, I get that it's historic. I get that. Like, bring in a legal analyst. I know you got 50 of them or whatever. There's an ambulance with them. Man, they really don't think that Trump's in the best health, do they? If they got an ambulance following it.
Like, it's cable news. Like, we do news all the time and it's our thing. Like, there's 24 hours in a day. There's so much news going on. There's so much news. As on CNN, you have a platform to make it more important. I think people should know about what's going on in Africa and all these other different places. In Russia right now, in Finland with NATO, you have time. Yeah. You just know that empty podium hour or like slow traffic hour, I guess, is gonna get you more views.